Good evening. A scathing report issued today details what the CIA did to terrorism suspects in the name of 9/11 and in the war on terrorism. It describes the brutal treatment of prisoners in secret locations using torture tactics while hiding the truth from the American people, members of Congress, and at times the Bush administration. All of it while this nation was at war with hundreds of thousands of troops in the fight. And it goes a long way toward answering the question, were we made any safer? Are we any safer today because of what went on in prison cells in the dark when no one was watching? We begin our coverage here tonight with our chief foreign affairs correspondent, Andrea Mitchell. Andrea, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. It is a devastating report for the CIA, which strongly objects to the conclusions. But now they are there for all of America and the world to read. For years, the CIA has claimed that the harsh interrogations now seen as torture helped capture 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, take down Osama bin Laden, and disrupt terror plots at the Library Tower in Los Angeles and elsewhere around the world. Today, the Senate Intelligence Committee said none of that was true.
Not a single case holds up.
A slam echoed by a Republican, John McCain.
It produced little useful intelligence to help us track down the perpetrators of 9/11.
McCain, the only member of the Senate who was himself tortured as a POW in Vietnam.
I know from personal experience that the abuse of prisoners will produce more bad than good intelligence.
After almost 6 years, 6.3 million documents, a 6,000-page report costing $40 million, committee Democrats accused the CIA of covering up the brutality of the interrogations, misleading Congress, the public, even the White House. When did President Bush first learn the gruesome details? The report says not until 2006, 4 years after the CIA started torturing detainees in secret prisons.
Questioning the detainees in this program has given us information that has saved innocent lives.
That's now in dispute. The report details a catalog of horrors. Dungeons where one detainee, stripped naked, died of hypothermia. Another, bin Laden lieutenant Abu Zubaydah, was waterboarded for 2.5 weeks, 24/7, until he passed out. Interrogators had to call in medics to revive him. 9/11 plotter Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was waterboarded, nearly drowned 183 times, slammed against walls until the report says he started making up stories, a fake nuclear suitcase bomb, and a claim that al-Qaeda was recruiting African-American Muslims in Montana. Abdul al-Rahim al-Nashiri, who planned the USS Cole bombing, was blindfolded, threatened with a gun near his head and a cordless power drill, and given forced enemas. All this at first also hidden from the Secretary of State, Colin Powell.
There are CIA records stating that Colin Powell wasn't told about the program at first because there were concerns that, and I quote, Powell would blow his stack.
Republicans warned the report could inspire more terrorism.
It could be used to incite unrest and even attacks against our service members, other personnel overseas, and our international partners.
So does CIA Director John Brennan, acknowledging some mistakes but insisting the interrogations did help thwart attack plans, capture terrorists, and save lives. Tonight, the president spoke to Telemundo's Jose Diaz-Balart.
Some of the tactics that were written about in the Senate Intelligence Report were brutal, and as I've said before, constituted torture in my mind, and that's not who we are.
One of the stunning revelations tonight, the report says 2 psychologists, contractors, who designed the interrogation techniques had no experience with al-Qaeda, no language skills. They made $80 million before this program was cut off. Brian?
Andrea Mitchell starting us off in our D.C. newsroom tonight. Andrea.